Yo, what is happening, everybody, and welcome to the Omega Chaps podcast. Here we are. The sun is shining. Well, the sun's going down, so not quite so much. The world is burning, but hey, what are we here for? We're here to use that fire to roast each other. Why? Because we are lovely people.
Wait. Hold up.
Yeah, I know. That was a bit weird.
No. Has bushfire season started?
It started at the start of summer, dude.
Oh.
But now we're going into the end of summer, so I think we've missed that.
Did we miss bushfire season?
We missed the fires, but even so, we may have missed the fires, but we are definitely going to roast each other for our anime picks. Why? Because we have nothing better to do on a Sunday night.
Well, yeah.
True.
So what else could we be doing? Could have kept going on the Minecraft stream, but you know.
Why would anyone want to do Minecraft stream? Jeez.
Well, listen, yeah.
So
I died in
boring.
lava. Lost a totem of undying. Full set of diamond armor.
One thing that did get
Yeah.
brought up by a viewer, in other words, my mum, was that we kept on going on with the ums and ahs.
Well, yeah, this is a fucking podcast.
Yeah, I said that to her too.
Thanks, Mom.
we may need to work on minimizing them, but we don't need to pick out every single friggin' one.
I know, but someone couldn't help themselves, so...
Let me guess, me.
Well, no. Someone just couldn't help but point him out.
Exactly.
That's what I mean.
Anyway,
Problem.
I haven't even checked, sound levels.
good stuff. Anyway,
now I want to do an entire podcast where we just say, conjoining words.
I mean...
And,
I'd be interested if anyone listened to an hour worth of that. You'd be listening to an hour of I don't know,
dude, there's no
any
way.
annoying sound.
There's no way I would be able to keep up with an hour of connective words.
It
depends on how long you extend it, I guess.
I guess you see the point of that. The reason
You're a bitch for trying.
Hey, at least he's giving it a go.
Yeah, true. But you were gonna make it just connective words, and you didn't.
Words.
Yeah, but you had a thing. You had words in between it.
Yeah, but connective statements as well.
That would depend on what you mean by connective words. You mean words that we don't have nouns in them or something? Because that would just get confusing real fast.
It's just like stuttering in sentences.
What is a noun?
Do high school English. You'll find out.
Okay, welcome to the podcast.
We'll teach you English tomorrow.
Anywho, let's get started. Today on this episode, on the first ever actual topic.
Yeah, it seems like Tom can do the whole thing by himself. He just has to.
Yeah, I know.
What he's going to say every 5 seconds.
This is a semi-planned podcast.
Oh, semi-decent? No.
Anywho, today we're going to be discussing each of our top 5 anime. Well, technically my top 10 because you know what? I've seen more anime, I think, than these guys, or at least more than I can remember.
I got 7 that I've fully watched. Guaranteed 1 or 2 episodes in one.
I have fully watched exactly 1 anime.
In full?
So most of your picks are either going to be for ones you're currently watching or ones where you like the idea.
Exactly.
He's probably like me. He's probably seen parts of animes and then just went to another one. So he can't have a proper judgment.
Yeah,
we'll get to it when we get up to me, but I've seen... I've seen a season of one or most of one and then just not finished it. Fire Force. Watched over half of the only season that's out and then...
Well, there is a season 2 now.
Oh, well, fuck.
I've not seen Fire Force.
No, it's not in my list, but it's an honorable mention.
Fire Force is... okay. It's got an interesting premise, but... for a shonen anime, it's decent.
For you guys, you probably have animes that I haven't heard of. But
Yeah, very likely.
You guys could probably link it in between each other, but my knowledge won't extend as well.
Cock and ball torture,
What?
the anime.
Well, if it helps, like some of the ones I have on my list, like one of them you're gonna have like difficulty finding, but I imagine like you can find the episodes on YouTube or something. But the rest you can find on literally any anime stream.
Well, let's see. I'm going to be, for the ones that I don't know, I'm going to be researching it on YouTube, I'm going to get a general gist of it, and I gotta try and roast you guys off it. So this is gonna be interesting.
I'm going to run this podcast with my coughs, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm going to leave my mouth in so I can keep muting myself.
Yeah, alright. So, who wants to go first?
Well, you seem very much prepared for this. So
Right.
If there's some quality to be had out of this podcast, I think it might come from you.
I also think it's somewhat fair because, as you said, you got like a top 10.
Yeah, what I think I'm doing, like, all of us are gonna have like honorable mentions. Like we're doing this thing where we organize our top 5, but we only give the names. We don't give them in any order, and the others have to guess what order we put them in. But I personally have written a top 10, so from 10 to 6, I'll rank them on my own preference, and then you guys can discern my top 5.
Yeah,
Sound good?
so stick with the top 5, leave them unranked. We'll do the guessing, and then we will hear your honorable mentions after.
All right. Well then, let's get started. First off, number 10. This one's purely based on nostalgia. The original Yu-Gi-Oh! 4Kids dub.
Yes, would you like to explain yourself?
Okay. Look,
Yes,
I know
so-
4Kids has a controversial reputation when it comes to dubbing anime. One Piece, garbage. Like, trust me, just look up One Piece Hammer Gun, and it makes all the bloody sense in the world why that thing was dead from the start.
Suck my dick.
But when it came to things like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, it really felt like they weren't perfect, but they had something. They had enough to keep it going. And
hearing this first pick from you, it raises a question already, and it's whether or not it's a cartoon or an anime.
Americans will recognize it as a cartoon because of the 4Kids' unique take on it, but I choose to consider it an anime because it started out as an anime. Still can't find the subbed anywhere, but yeah, technically started as a manga and then became an anime.
Right. I don't know. I didn't even think about it for my list purely because I think of that reason. Same reason I didn't think of Pokemon for my list is because like they felt more westernized than actual anime. I mean, I've got the manga for Yu-Gi-Oh, but it seems almost entirely based off the series anyway.
See, the
Rather
only
than the
reason
other way
why I raise that question of whether it's a cartoon or an anime is because a lot of people actually see it with childhood.
Well, yeah, but the same thing could be said like, did you know that the Naruto dub originally was released like full censored? Like all the blood, all the swearing that you would find in the sub and later in Shippuden was all cut out to make it more appeal for a wider audience.
I think the thing that needs to be looked at is if it has a manga. Because if it has a manga, then
Yu-Gi-Oh does.
Okay, well then I would put,
Hold on, you guys
put
discussed
it in a
this
safe
thing, my brother.
anime.
Like, you wanna know why the mechanics of Yu-Gi-Oh don't work as they should in the first season? Is because they originate from the manga and he hadn't like solidified the rules to make like a cohesive card game out of it.
Yeah, true.
Every time I watch that first season, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, why can Kaiba summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon literally without sacrificing anything?
Then in comes Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, yo, I got the Zodiac boy. See ya, bitch.
But honestly, when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, like I've watched this thing front to back like a few times. there are plenty of instances where you question what the hell 4Kids was doing with it, but on a whole, it's not bad. And Bakura is one of my top favorite anime villains of all time. So I kind of have to put it here for both those reasons.
Yeah. So that was your number 10. What was your number 9?
All right, number 9. Let me see. Ooh, this one is on Netflix, but you probably won't have seen it.
It's another one.
Black Lagoon.
Okay, I'm back.
You left.
Yeah, he disappeared for a bit. I don't know where he went.
Well,
Wow.
yeah.
No, this podcast doesn't mean me. It's fine.
Anyway, Sam, let me know if you heard this one. Black Lagoon.
That's not the one where they're in a high school and they like use they use games or whatever to try and win things. Is that that one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Black Lagoon is... It's an R-rated anime, so it's a very serious show. Like, it's not one that I like watching over and over again. I only watch it like on and off like every few years or so, but this was one of the first one of the first adult anime I watched when I was in high school. It's about a small group of pirates in this city called Roanoke. And basically, all it is everyone is corrupt, everyone is shitty. This city is basically hell on earth, and yet you've got this ragtag group of people just shooting up everything. And yet, it always questions the values of humanity and whether or not, even in the darkest places, we can find something to hold on to.
Damn.
Yeah, that sounds deep.
And I mean, some YouTubers say that this show has probably some of the most badass women in anime. But when you actually get down to it, like when you actually understand like their pasts, you understand that none of these people, men or women, have a happy beginning, and they are not expecting a happy ending.
Wow.
You go from like happy
I know, it's
Yu-Gi-Oh to dark, depressive Black Lagoon.
How are we supposed to do anything with that?
I know. This is why I love this. The thing is, like, Black Lagoon, out of all the numbers for me to pick, number 9 was my worst because I was debating about which one I should put in here. Like, the 2 main ones I came running through were Soul Eater and Demon Slayer. But then I was like...
At 9th? Wow, that's gross.
But then...
I've only seen the movie as well. Like, he's going to sit here and go, it's 9th after seeing the movie. I haven't seen it, but I presume it's amazing.
But when I actually, like, asserted, like, Black Lagoon and, like... whether or not it's something I can watch over and over again, like, regularly, I decided, like, nah, I'll just swap them around. So Black Lagoon was originally number 8, but I swapped it so that's now 9. Jeez. And by the way, and unfortunately for you, Sam, neither of those 2, Demon Slayer included, even made it on the top 10.
Oof. Oof.
My number 8, because like I was debating where to put this on for a reason that I don't know if I can say because you guys haven't reached that point, but I had to put it on here because I love the show to death, Naruto and Naruto Shippuden.
Yeah. That's another one of mine, I guess. I kind of want to cycle back to Black Lagoon because
I don't want to have a Misfits a Mason on the Misfits podcast moment here, but I was swapping my headphones, so I don't know what the fuck you said.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, well,
I heard you yell my name in the other room, but like...
Okay, well, I'll explain that in a second then, but before we do that, if you want to carry on with Black Lagoon, Mitch, alright, what do you want to know?
Well, I was just gonna say, it goes a lot further than what you, because I'm looking at, like, the plot on Wikipedia here. It goes on about the Japanese Yakuza, the Chinese Triad, the Russian Mafia, Colombian Cartel, Italian Mafia, and then pickpocketers, thugs, mercenaries, thieves, prostitutes, assassins, and gunmen.
I'm not in this.
These guys are everyone on Rihanna is either a criminal, a corrupt official, or a gang member.
Jeez.
And then you get and there's just so much. All the characters are memorable in that show. Like, the main character, Revi, is a Chinese American woman who swears like a sailor and basically kills anyone she sees with just two pistols. And she's the best character in the damn show.
Apparently the original one is still going too.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's a good...
Oh, jeez, Rick.
Good on them for having, like, meanings and, like, a tougher anime. Especially if it's gone from 2002 to present day.
Mm-hmm. I think there's only, like, 3 seasons. I haven't given the third one a watch, but the first 2 I've watched a few times from start to finish. The first arc of the second season, that one, out of all of them, that one hurts.
Well, do you wanna move on and tell Sam the disappointment again?
Yep. Sorry, Sam, but for number 8, which was my most debated ranking, neither Soul Eater or Demon Slayer even made the top 10.
Ow.
My number 8.
That was gonna be the reaction.
When I was debating, like, all the anime I've seen, which ones I can put in the top 10, eventually I found a name that I just couldn't pass up. It's Naruto and Naruto Shippuden.
I mean, it should be a guarantee, because I think a lot of us were raised on that.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. You were just out of cartoons. I don't know what you were watching.
I was watching Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Oh, that was fun.
And various other Cartoon Network shows.
The Grim Adventures of Bill and Mandy.
No.
I had Oster once,
wow.
and I never looked back.
Dexter. Texas Laboratory, sorry. And Powerpuff Girls. So, and sprinkling in a little bit of that Ben 10 for you.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
So why Naruto at 8?
Naruto is one of the greats. Out of all the anime on my list, this one, well, a few of them will, but this one out of all of them will definitely stand the test of time. But the only reason it's so low is due to something that really could not have been avoided, I want to say, because the way that it was all built up to that point, I don't blame it for kind of going a bit wrong. The final arc is criticized immensely in Shippuden. It starts out solid, but the final arc takes over a third of the entire show, which also includes Naruto. And most of it is filler.
Yeah, you're correct with that.
So it stretches for seasons before it gets to the good stuff. I don't get why, though. I imagine it might have had something to do with like the author's schedule or something, or some like technical difficulties. I don't know, but and even then, when you get to the parts that the manga covers, the author unfortunately kind of drops the ball towards the ending of the show. Like the actual like full ending, the final fight is great, but some of the paths to get there, it goes from great to really like off the walls before it starts getting back on track.
Yeah, I could see that.
Again, I can't talk about this one because I'm not even finished Naruto yet.
Yeah,
so.
I know neither you got. Like, have you seen it up to that point, Mitch?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. don't worry, I won't spoil anything, Sam. But like,
dude, I already know that Madara Uchiha can throw a fucking meteorite into the earth.
I mean, oh, good. So you know about Madara. To be honest, Madara when he finally showed up, he'd been mentioned ever since like the Sasuke versus Naruto fight, or maybe even a bit sooner. But god damn it, when he got introduced, he automatically became one of my top anime villains because holy crap, that's how you make an introduction.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how he introduces himself?
Oh yeah, and it only gets better.
He's like full on yeet.
Yeah,
he just shows up. He just shows up, physically fistfights and wrecks an entire army, and then the minute they start putting up a good comeback, he's like, "Yeah, okay, I'm bored now. Let's bring down a meteor."
Oh man, maybe he was trying to play catch. Like maybe he just didn't have a good father figure, and like all he wanted was someone to play catch with meteorites with him. Like
with the meteorites.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry,
I mean, if anyone could, it'd be him.
Oh well, because like maybe he has some masculinity issues as well. He's like, oh man, like I gotta be the strongest there ever was, but I just want to play catch. Hashtag Pokemon.
Sam, you're destroying my life. How could you?
The very that no one ever was.
I mean, let's be honest.
Throwing meteorites is my test.
Shut up, Sam.
To catch them
We're gonna get copyrighted.
Okay, can we like agree on one thing, that the Pokemon, like the original Pokemon English opening, is the best opening in all of anime?
It's iconic,
or at least most
isn't it?
iconic.
It's iconic, but I wouldn't say it's the best.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just one that sticks with you.
Yeah.
It's like even people who didn't watch it know the song.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that will continue to be such like a huge thing. Like I don't know, mate. I don't know kids now. I don't know any fucking children. Let's be fair.
I'm here with the
This comes from the guy who's trying to be a teacher.
Right, I walk into class. They're like, "Eshay, sir." I'm like, "Eshay, bro." That's how you relate.
Okay.
Realizing it's a mistake the first time you do it and never doing it again.
Oops.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Number 7, you might have heard of, Mitch, but I know you haven't seen, but you have seen it recently, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Hellsing Ultimate.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm. This is why it's hard you having a top 10, because then because it's in my top 5.
But, I mean, I feel like there's going to be at least a couple that you guys probably don't know in mine.
Everyone's gonna know mine.
Yeah, like basically Hellsing Ultimate is... Have you guys ever heard of an English dub voice actor called Crispin Freeman?
No, but I have seen Hellsing Ultimate.
I would argue that Alucard, the main protagonist of Hellsing Ultimate, that is Crispin's best role, because God, you don't expect a voice that deep to pull off such a epic evil laugh.
Yeah. Oh, are we doing spoiler free for this, or what are we doing? Because
well, like he laughs like frequently. The guy's a freaking sociopath.
No. I just want to ask, because like the way they attempt to kill off Alucard is like fucking genius.
Oh shit!
Yeah. The whole, like, let's put it this way: the main protagonist is a vampire.
He did.
And he's a
his voice.
He's a vampire.
Oh, you're just looking it up. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm looking up him.
Yeah, like the guy in red. That's Alucard. Let me see if I can't like pull up some games or something. See if Crispin's been in like any games.
I need to get some images to show on the stream.
Okay, let's see.
But yeah, so like you've got Alucard, who is essentially Dracula. Like, you know, they.
Well, there's no essentially about it. Like you kind of spoiled it, but yeah, he's Dracula.
He's Dracula. Like, oh, but it's very obvious early on that he's Dracula. Like, it's just he's changed his name or whatever.
Oh,
but He's indebted to this organization, the Helsing organization. Is that what they're called? Helsing organization.
Yeah, which is basically like Van Helsing's Van Helsing's granddaughter is now the one who controls Alucard and sends him on missions.
Yes.
And she's a badass.
Oh, totally. Like, Integra. It stands up to fucking vampires as in, like, what? What are you actually going to do to me? Like, fucking
like
beast.
the funny thing is, they don't show it, but I think it might be in the manga, but also in, like, because Hellsing Ultimate is a remake of the original Hellsing show, but it kind of went away from the manga eventually. And there is one scene where you see Alucard meets Integra. It's after, like, Integra is trying to be hunted down by her uncle for control of the organization, and she's only, like...
Yeah, she's
like
only
9. A kid at that point.
Yeah, she's very young.
And she meets Alucard by accidentally bleeding on his coffin while he's sleeping, and he kills all the guys who are chasing her, including her uncle, and he's like, So what do you want? What's your intention? And she's just like, you work for me now, and I don't need your immortality. And Alucard's like, yep, good enough for me.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome for a series. And you just reminded me that there is, I might have to quickly rearrange my top 5 later.
I told you. I see every once in a while you find some good stuff.
No, it's that we'll get to it later because I'll ask you about it later. But
fair enough.
Yeah, I think the way they attempt to kill off Alucard in that is genius.
Oh yeah, like, and let's put it this way: the main villain, Mitch, the main antagonistic force, like, is essentially a small division of the Nazis who come back as artificial vampires.
Jeez, that's one hell of an army.
and the lead, the one who leads all of them, holy crap, he actually, in episode 4, I think it is, delivers a speech about why he loves war. Why war is the air that he breathes, the thing that gets him going.
Oh, incredibly iconic. Like, in terms of speeches in anime, that shit is iconic.
Well, I think I need to watch Hellsing now.
just be sure you find Hellsing Ultimate and the English dub. I think that when I first watched it, I think the episode should be on YouTube because they're very difficult to find.
Yeah, I've had that happen in the past.
Yeah. If you guys do want examples of, like, Freeman's voice work, he's Winston from Overwatch.
I was about to mention that too.
Yeah. He's also Itachi Uchiha as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry guys, I'm going to have to talk really minimally because I'm really struggling here with my chest. I'm coughing a lot, so I'm going to talk a little bit less.
Okay.
You okay?
Slowly dying.
Well, we all are.
Yeah. Just going by day.
But good to know that I've got 2 anime already that I've got you interested in.
Well, the other one that... Well, to be fair, what was the other one you think I'm interested in?
Black Lagoon.
That just seems intense. I wouldn't say that I am real interested in it.
I would say, like, it does get intense, I won't lie, but there are some moments of levity throughout it, which do balance it out a bit. It is on Netflix, so so on the flip side, it is easier to find than Hellsing Ultimate.
Yeah, true. So Hellsing was what, number 7?
Yep.
Okay, so what is your number 6?
Number 6 is one we all love to death, Fairy Tail.
At number 6?
Fairy Tail!
Sorry,
Trust
I'm
me,
disappointed.
finding a placement for Fairy Tail was not easy, but when it comes to, like, my top 5, holy crap, these shows, damn.
Okay.
But like, we all know what Fairy Tail's about. It's basically just like a bunch of wizards hanging out, just like enjoying their time at a bar, and then they just happen every like weekend or something. They go out on missions where they save the day.
I think it's good for like people like us who are into D&D to get started with Fairy Tail as an anime too.
Yeah,
because it has somewhat the same features. Like, people gather in a tavern, they go out on missions, they do things, and then they meet back and get rewards. So I feel like if you are interested in at least getting into anime and you like D&D, then try Fairy Tail.
like the one issue that most people have with Fairy Tail is that there's this thing in anime called power scaling, and Fairy Tail kind of doesn't do that very well. Same thing with like plots and villains. Fairy Tail has like a serious villain problem, but outside of that, the show does master something that a lot of other anime try to do but fail, and that is just making it a fun thing to watch. Like, you don't have to think about it too hard. You just have to watch it and just have fun while you chill.
It's a good laugh. In terms of the power scaling, I wouldn't say it is overwhelming. I would say it's more suited.
Yeah. And I mean, all right, if you guys had to pick a favorite member of the Fairy Tail Guild, which would it, based on character or powers or whatever, which would it be? Personally, I'm either going to have to go with Guildarts or Urza.
So the big baddies, the big badass people.
Because Guildarts is just a badass who's a very awkward dad at the same time. And then you got Urza, whose character arc is just... it's extensive. Probably the best character arc in the entire show.
I mean, mine is definitely Mira Jane. Because... waifu, but also, like, she's a fucking demon. And, like, she's so overpowered she can only use it for a limited amount of time before having to get, like, fucking rest.
Oh, God. Are we really going to start, like, the Fairy Tail waifu wars now?
Fairy Tail waifu
wars. No, because I would
period.
not want to say that mine is waifu material.
Why? Because it's a child?
Yes.
Oh my god, what? You got Wendy?
Alright, I'm out. Fuck this.
No,
god damn it, no!
It's not Wendy. It's,
Is it?
Cherry or whatever. Because that's God. Godslayer magic of wind and air. That seems awesome to me, and I want it. Like,
okay, but her whole thing is that she always just claims, like, battle is love or something.
Yeah, see, that's the downside, but I would want to be her in terms of power. In terms of behavior, I would like to be happy. Like, zooming around, not giving a shit.
Only we know you're into little girls and blue cats.
Oh, go away. I have reasons as to why I picked them, and it's not because they're a girl or a cat.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Okay, so how are we going to approach the top 5 now? Because this is what we have to guess and try and roast.
I'm going to go in random order with my top 5, and I'll explain them a little bit. And then you guys have to work out where I rank them from 5 to 1.
Okay, seems alright. Seems like a good plan. We'll see how it goes.
Alright. You got...
Well, wait, please include your honorable mentions before you start.
Well,
the entire Yu-Gi-Oh! The Fairy Tail were my honorable mentions.
You don't have anything outside of that are honorable mentions?
Well, obviously we got Demon Slayer and Soul Eater. Like, Soul Eater is just...
You're literally the worst.
See, with this whole talk...
if you want really, like, weird anime, there's the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, which is just hilarious in every respect. Basically, it's this high school girl. It's another one of Crispin Freeman's role. Like, he's just an average guy who meets this girl who possesses godlike power. But the problem is she's so bored with life. She doesn't realize she has all this power, but her life is just so boring. She decides, all right, I'm going to start a social club. And I want an alien, a time traveler, and an Esper in the group. And what do they find the next episode? A time traveler, an alien, and an Esper. And they join the club.
That just seems like it's playing too many cards.
Okay, but like,
it's saying it's weird, it's hilarious.
If you are about to say that the life of Saiki K is in your top fucking 5, I am going to slap you.
Okay, to be fair, the life of Psyche is funny as hell, but no, it's not my top 5.
And Sam, in terms of honorable mentions, I kind of have them as the extras in my list.
Yeah, so, you guys don't really have top 10s, so
I actually do now. I have a top 10 now. Through the conversations, I've remembered some more.
Yeah, well, I've decided to keep it to my top 5, even after figuring out I have watched at least 12 animes.
But the other 5 that are in the list now, they're just the honorable mentions.
Oh, no. I know it's on your list, Sam, or at least might be in your honorable mention, so I won't say another one that I think everyone should take a look at, but...
Well, if no one mentions it, you could also put it in later, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Alright, shall we get started with my top 5 then?
Yeah, let's see if we could do this.
Alright, the first one is an obvious one. One Piece.
Okay. So...
I'm sorry, but top 3, Bleach, get in the bloody bin. I couldn't watch 3 episodes. I tried doing that. I tried starting again and watching the show twice, and I couldn't get past episode 3. You're out of here. Naruto, you're amazing, but your ending really stings. One Piece is near perfection.
Lol, that's kind of a joke.
Why do you say that?
Okay, well, because alright, speedrun it. Right, the overwhelming amount of filler, the ridiculously long fight sequences, and I'm talking 20 episodes for one fight sequence.
Yeah.
Okay. Massively unnecessary.
Don't know if that's One Piece, but okay.
That is 100% One Piece.
Okay.
If you're going to sit there and tell me that yes, I understand I'm ridiculously over-exaggerating, but like, if a fight is more than 3 episodes, I'm getting upset.
Okay, you raise a good point. You do raise a good point. I will acknowledge that. Sometimes the fights can go a bit long, but the thing is, that's the anime. The manga, the pacing is much tighter.
But we're not talking about the manga. We're talking about the anime.
I like to go with both because they're both arguments for it on themselves. So the main reason I've got One Piece at number 2, shit.
Oh, well.
Wow!
Take note there.
Already we're off to a great start. I suck. All right, so yeah. Fine. I'll go with that. That One Piece is number 2 because the only reason it's not number 1 is because of all the like pacing and filler issues of the anime. Other than that, it's one of the best stories there is out there.
Mate, I have never skipped a filler arc before. I got to Skypiea and I was like, I'm not watching 6 episodes of filler. This is fucking bullshit.
There's no filler. There might be filler in Skypiea.
Yes, there is. When all of a sudden, right towards the very end of Skypiea, they all of a sudden start talking about the backstory of Skypiea. And it's
that actually is in the actual manga, so...
Yeah, but it feels like filler. It does not feel interesting.
You want to know why that is? It's because Skypiea is an arc that's not connected to the rest of the show. At least not yet, anyway.
to anyone that is or somehow hasn't heard of what One Piece is, it's essentially someone's kid walks in the steps of their father to go find treasure.
Also being able to be super elastic like Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so basically, it's a story about pirates, and the main protagonist is a freedom-loving boy who stretches like Mr. Fantastic,
And it's
essentially.
kind of stupid, but it works.
Yeah, like, the best thing about One Piece, like, the only main daunting thing about it is its length. I grant it can be terrifying, but if you stick with it, like, especially by the time you get to Barate, the sea restaurant arc, if you're not into it by then can't say much of it because that arc is great.
Okay, so be careful of these.
It's definitely, like, of all the shows in the world, this is the one where I say, like, it is long, it is daunting, I know, but if you stick with it all the way to the end, you won't regret it.
Now, you must be careful with what you say in your next
I'm well aware.
Yes.
All right.
Wow, that was number 2. Oh, jeez, Rick.
All right. Well, let's get started with another one both of you have probably heard. Attack on Titan.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, this is in your top 5. That's interesting.
Now, granted, like, I only really started, like, watching this last year. Like, I heard all the hype, I got all the gist, like, that came from the first season, but the fact that they waited like 2 years for the next season to come out put me off actually watching it. So, but I sat down, I gave it a go, and I watched the whole thing, and you know what? I don't know if it's something I would watch over and over again, but for what it is, and the story, and the sheer, like, the sheer, like, flow of the plot and the themes, depending on how the ending comes about, because we're in the final season now, it could very well be a masterpiece.
Still need to watch that third season.
I know, I just remember that, like, the very first time I ever watched it was when I pulled up to Mitch's house, and he goes, I've got this new anime for you to watch. And then, like,
the first thing you see is someone getting eaten.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't enjoy this.
The only bad thing I will say about Attack on Titan is Eren. I hate Eren as a protagonist so much. He is so unlikable, but I get that he's necessary.
Well, yeah, he was the reason as to what became of Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
So you can't really say much against them.
True. Also, you guys remember?
And try.
You remember a guy called Levi?
Yes.
I haven't watched it, so I just want to be clear.
Everyone. Okay, Sam. Essentially, Levi is everyone's crush. Everyone's main crush, at least.
So he's Sasuke.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's cooler than Sasuke because he. Like,
okay, you can't be cooler than Sasuke.
Wait till you get to Shippuden.
You need to watch the anime to have a fair reason for this.
the thing that I love about, like, Levi, out of the way that the military is structured in Attack on Titan is that only one scout regiment leaves the human territories, and that's like only one military unit leaves the cities, and that's the scout regiment. And Levi is the ace of that. Like, he can kill Titans easily, while everyone else is lucky just to survive one.
Mikasa, though.
Yeah.
She's cool.
Wait, who?
Mikasa.
Mikasa, yeah. But she's like,
She's deadpan badass, alright?
Yeah, she's badass until you, like, try to get her until you try to mess with her emotions. Then it's like, oh boy, no.
Okay, so she may cry because of Eren doing something stupid.
But it's like she does all of this for Eren, and Eren does some really stupid shit. And yet she always is there for him. Granted, like, it's fair enough. She has a good reason, but it's like, really? You can't think of any criticism. Oh. The only reason I brought up Levi is because, can you guess who voices him in the English dub?
Oh, I don't remember who does. Shit.
I'll give you a hint. You know him very well from a very select collection of voice actors.
Matt Mercer.
No.
Bingo!
Wait, really?
Yeah. The funny thing is, Matt Mercer and the Japanese voice actor for Levi are the exact same two voice actors who voiced my favorite character in One Piece.
Trafalgar Law.
Oh my god, it is. Fuck me.
I was like,
thinking it was more like Liam O'Brien, but no.
Like, the minute I watched, like, I'm watching Attack on Titan in the subbed version, and the minute I heard Levi's voice, I was like, wait, I've heard that before. I've had
that games. Like, I've gone on through that many games, like, oh, Sam, it's this actor.
Do you remember a character named, Sasha, Mitch?
Let me have a quick look up here.
I'll give you a hint. The first time you see her, she's holding a potato.
Yeah, I know this one.
Little potato girl. She is the best character because she is the, like, out of all the characters, she brings the most levity.
True.
Like, the first time you meet her, she's in the middle of, like, scout training. She's standing, like, 2 rows behind Eren, and while a drill sergeant is drilling into everyone, she's just there eating a baked potato in line. And he just strolls up to her, like, the sergeant just strolls up to her and just like, what are you doing, cadet? Nothing, sir. What's that in your hand, cadet? A potato, sir? You're eating a potato? Well, yeah. It was in the kitchen. It was baked there fresh, but, like, we were ready for training. No one was going to pick it up, so it would be bad to go to waste, right? But you're eating a potato. And she just breaks it apart, and she's like, would you like half, sir? And it's very clear she's giving him the smaller piece. God damn it, I love Sasha.
As much as I could go on about Attack on Titan, I feel like we should move along because we have a lot more to go through.
Fair enough.
Never get out of this podcast we have yet to get through.
All right. Well. Okay. All right.
I've coughed up my lungs.
This one. All right. Now we got one that is on Netflix, and is very, and also has Crispin Freeman in it, though in a minor role.
I think I know this one.
It's called Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion.
Oh, okay.
I don't know this. So
I know the game is associated with it.
Basic summary of it.
This was the anime outside of, like, Naruto and Fairy Tail and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! This was the anime that got me into anime. It basically follows Lelouch v. Britannia, a prince who has been exiled to Japan after his mother is murdered and his little sister is blinded and crippled from the waist down. And he basically spends his school days plotting revenge against Britannia, but it's only when he meets this girl, and she gives him the power to basically take over a person's mind. And he decides, you know what? This is the power I needed to start a rebellion. And it's a futuristic society where Britannia pretty much is one of the 3 main superpowers. It's like full mecha, like robots, but it's so, like, philosophical and political at the same time. Like, a lot of comparisons been made between how Lelouch deals with being given ultimate power versus how Light Yagami from Death Note has been given ultimate power, and how the two of them serve as a contrast for how to handle power, essentially.
Yeah, fair.
I do highly recommend it, especially the dubbed. Like,
yeah,
that is probably one of my favorite dubs.
I could see how this could spark someone's interest anyway. What one was that again? The name?
Code Geass. It's spelled Geass.
Okay.
Plus the ending, like, I haven't watched, like, there's apparently like a new movie or a new season come out, but as far as I'm concerned, Code Geass ended at season 2, and that season ending is a masterpiece.
Fair.
It just ties everything together. It makes sense, and it's just so emotional.
Okay. Given some details to it, I like it. Okay. So then,
And plus, it's on Netflix, so you don't have an excuse not to watch it.
yes, this is true. So far we got One Piece, Attack on Titan, Code Geass, and your next one.
All right, we got 2 more, and both of them are shonen.
2 more?
All right.
Hold on.
Yeah. Attack on Titan.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Fair, no. Code Geass.
All right. This one you may have heard me talk about a couple of times. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah, I've heard you mention it.
Okay, now that I've heard most of your list, there are several that are missing, and I will question you later.
Like, I can go, after you guys, like, work out my top 5, I can go through them all again for you if you like.
Sure. But
all
maybe
right.
now we just get through this.
Yeah.
This show was one of my favorites from high school. Its story and plot is tight. The characters are memorable. It basically follows a pair of brothers who, after losing their mother, they commit a serious offense by using this world's magic, alchemy, which cost the older one his right arm and his leg, and it cost the younger one his entire body, forcing him to have his soul implanted into a suit of armor. And the two of them embark on a quest throughout the world to find what is called a Philosopher's Stone, in the hopes that it will get them their bodies back. And it deals with a lot of, like, the main themes of this story are the value of human connections.
Right.
And like, it's like Attack on Titan in that it questions and evaluates the nature of humans, but unlike Attack on Titan, it does so with a more hopeful tone.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Alchemist Brotherhood. Right.
I mean,
I
think you're, again, the only one who's watched this one.
No, I've seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
What, the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you
shit.
think?
I'll mute myself again.
The anime does have a good story, but for what I like in anime, it didn't really appeal to it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because, like, okay, to be fair, in talking about animes, I love story deep animes. It had that covered. But for me, it also lacked more action than I liked.
Yeah, it definitely deals with more. It deals more with enhancing the themes than it does with action, but
yeah.
Even so, the times when it does go into action are pretty damn good.
Yeah, I do agree. Like, if I wasn't gonna keep on adding to my list, it would definitely be in another honorable mentions for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I will say though, like, there are quite a few deaths in this show, but there are, like, a few of them that have got me to tear up, and that is not easy. Like, if I had to go for my top 10 list, the only shows that I have like actually teared up for are probably definitely One Piece and Fullmetal Alchemist. Maybe I think there was one point on Attack on Titan. Can't remember where though. But yeah, if you get me to cry, yeah, all right, you're good.
Imagine if we were sponsored by Crunchyroll for this episode.
Well, I would not accept Anime Lab all the way.
I mean, yeah, like Crunchyroll can like go away because the only place you can find Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood these days is on Anime Lab.
Yeah.
But guys, make sure you head over to Anime Lab and use code, we don't have one, just fucking pay for it.
I'm sure everyone at least has heard of Crunchyroll. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, or Funimation. Anyway.
Yeah, Funimation too, yeah. Yeah, all right. So what is your last one before we do some ranks?
This last one you probably heard of, but I really doubt you've seen. The 2011 version of Hunter x Hunter.
No.
No.
No, you haven't seen it, or no, you haven't heard of it?
Well, obviously I've heard of it.
Yeah,
because you
I've heard of
Hunter
x Hunter. A lot of people have actually recommended it to me, and I still haven't gone around to watching it.
Alright, well, it is on, like, Anime Lab and Crunchyroll, so go figure. Basically, the show is not long. Like, it is long in terms of, like, it's over 100 episodes, but you can easily go through each arc pretty quickly. It basically follows a boy named Gon, who sets out on a quest to find his father. And during that time, he meets a small group of companions that he holds together for like a handful of arcs before he just trails off with one. And like, it's difficult to like give and say what the show is because it's very plot-wise, it's not as sharp as most anime because the author of the manga is the kind of writer who will write essentially what he feels like writing at the time. So there is this one point in the arc where they're trying to look for a group of thieves getting ready to steal from an auction, and then after a certain event is done, all of a sudden he uses this side character he's been holding around for like 2 episodes to suddenly introduce the different like ins and outs of how to succeed in an auction. And it's like, okay, this came out of nowhere, but fine. But when it actually gets to like the fights and the emotional moments, it hits hard. It hits really damn hard.
I honestly, when you were describing this character, I thought I had a stroke. Like, I thought I was listening right, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? But that I don't know whether you... I don't know whether that's, like, explained weirdly or not, or whether it's just that weird that, like, it feels wrong.
It is weird. Like, this is a very weird show. Like, it's technically a shonen, but it's very different from most shonen. Like, the themes are darker, and the way that it presents its story is so anti-shonen. It's just so bizarre, but it works. Plus, the power system, which is called Nen, is regarded by many as the best power system in all of anime, and for good reason. It's complex, like it's so lucrative and so like diverse that literally you could do an entire hour lecture on it and you would barely get through even a bit of it.
Huh. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's a thing as well with some animes in terms of like character descriptions, because you could probably look at something like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures and they'll be like, what?
Like, I still don't understand what the hell stands are about, but then again I need to watch JoJo's.
Okay, so you've given us the top 5. You've given us your top 5 at least.
Yep.
Well, do you want to go first in guessing, Sam?
Yeah, I can. I might need a reminder as I go through the list, but I should get there.
So,
I think your number 1 is Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
That's personally where I think it is. Knowing that One Piece is number 2, I think Full Metal Alchemist is your top. What were your others? Hunter x Hunter,
Attack on Titan, and Code Geass.
And we know what number 2 is.
Yeah. So I put Code Geass at number 3, Hunter x Hunter 4, and then Attack on Titan 5 would be my guess.
Okay.
My
Mitch?
guesses would be actually putting Full Metal Alchemist at number 5.
Oh, okay.
Followed by Attack on Titan at number 4. Code Geass number 3. One Piece number 2, that's an obvious. And Hunter x Hunter at 1.
Okay. Both of you are close.
Oh, jeez. We went opposite ways.
Mitch, if you swap FMA and Hunter x Hunter, and Sam, if you swap Attack on Titan and Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, so...
No! Really? You put Attack on Titan above Hunter x Hunter?
Like, don't get me wrong, Hunter x Hunter is one of the best shonen anime out there, bar none, but it's not perfect.
So give us your full list from number 5 up to number 1.
Well, I'll give it the top 10 since Sam doesn't know, like, my full list, but... Alright, number 10 is Yu-Gi-Oh! The original. Number 9 is Black Lagoon, anime English dub. Never watched the sub. Number 8 is Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. Number 7 is the English dub of Hellsing Ultimate. Number 6 is Fairy Tail. Number 5 is Hunter x Hunter. Number 4 is Attack on Titan. Number 3 is the English dub of Code Geass. Number 2 is One Piece. And number 1, my favorite anime of all time, is the English dub version of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay.
Fucking knew it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
That's
fucking
fair.
Like, I don't know, like, literally, out of all of these, Full Metal Alchemist is the one anime on this list that I could see myself, like, just sitting down once a year and just watching the whole thing. Every year, just find the time to just sit down and watch the whole thing.
Oh, look, it's January again. I'm going to go to a corner and watch Full Metal Alchemist.
It's that time of the month again, Gary.
I just love FMA so much. The characters, the world building, like, it's got nothing on One Piece's world building, but the way that it all just fits together just fits so perfectly for me.
Would you mind if I went next? Only because I'm currently got a lull from all this coughing up a lung stuff.
No, yeah,
Sure.
and you can go.
I have questions about Tom
Next.
because I know Tom too well.
All right. Well, take it away, Mr. Pocket.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'd like to make some honourable mentions, and I'm not going to change my 5, even though one of them I've realised would probably change my 5. But Castlevania.
Yeah, I've heard
Not
of
an
that
anime.
too. I've heard good things about
It's not an anime.
It's a great show, and it's got anime influences in its artistic design, but it's an American show.
Ah, but can you say the same about Pokemon?
No, because that was originally released in Japan. Therefore, it is an anime.
It was made to be an anime originally, but then it kind of evolved just into a cartoon for childhoods.
Okay.
It's the same. And in case anyone who decides to watch this brings it up, no, Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra are not anime.
Well,
They are American.
You're a bastard.
I can recognise that they're not anime though, because they're obviously not done anywhere near that style. But
Well, they do use the anime style, and they do like use the anime style, especially Korra uses a generic anime style, but no, they are American shows.
Okay, so I'll get that out of my at least honorable mentions, because that's what it was.
I mean, to be fair, if like Avatar: The Last Airbender was an anime, bar none, it would be my number one.
Okay.
Okay. But this leads into my
Pissed
two
off.
other questions, right? So,
What?
where
What'd you say,
was Black
Sam?
Clover?
What'd you say?
Where was Black Clover? And where was My Hero Academia in your list? Because they weren't fucking there.
Okay, I like them both, but they don't even make. I don't even think they make my top 15. Maybe they make my top 20, but not my top 15 because when they started coming out, when they started getting popular, everyone thought that alongside One Piece, they would be the next big Shonen 3. But no, like, they're great. Like, they're good shows, but they're nowhere near what I would classify as top 10 material.
You're just a slime kind of guy, aren't you?
I mean, like, if you want fan service in your shonen, go right ahead and check out My Hero Academia, but...
Alright, well, that's cleared it up, I guess. It's not going to confuse me at all when you...
Well, you're the one who brought up slime.
Well, yeah, but, like, that sounds funny. Anyway, so... another honorable mention for me is Psycho Pass. And
Yes.
the only reason is because I haven't watched it all yet, so I don't know whether it actually loses the quality that it has. But essentially, it's like this series where, and you can probably explain it a little bit better, Tom. The entire society is monitored for their psychological state. So if your psychological state goes outside of a particular boundary, then you're picked up by the system and locked away or killed or whatever, I think. Right?
For what it is, yeah, basically it is that. If your psychological state becomes reaches a certain point of instability, then the system will pick you up and designate you as a potential criminal. And it will lock you up. Doesn't matter. Like, let's put in context. In the first episode, they kill a criminal who was potentially about to rape a woman. But because the woman was so traumatized by the event that her mind was utterly unhinged at that point, the system saw her as a potential threat, even though she was clearly the victim. It's a flawed and broken system, and even though like Sam and I haven't gotten that far in it, it's fascinating. Like, I've been spoiled a little bit about what the villain is about because he just sounds so bloody fascinating with it, because one of the things he does is he literally takes someone out of nowhere and kills them right in the middle of a public street. But because his mental state is so like unchanged and stable, the system does not see him as a criminal, even though he literally just murdered someone in broad daylight.
Yeah, it's interesting. It wouldn't get past any like cold-blooded murderers who don't require any emotional response, like to do something. It's very interesting. But yeah, that's why I can't put it in my top 5, is because although it is an incredibly good concept, it's not. We haven't finished it yet, so I've got no idea. I have a lot of honorable mentions only because I haven't done a top 10. I realized the top 10 would have been really good. Just quickly, because I don't want to touch on it too much. Fire Force. Yeah,
I mean, we've had general discussions about some anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So Fire Force, Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon. I have one dishonorable mention because it should be in my top 5, but I fucking hate it. SAO.
Wait,
SAO.
Oh, right.
Now,
okay. To be fair,
hold on. Let me talk about my reason. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
What an amazing concept. What, like, an absolutely incredible concept. You lock X amount of players in a video game where they have to use their entire bodies to play the game, right? And the only way they can escape is they beat all 100 levels and everyone's let out. Incredible. Love it. There's a possibility you'll also die. Fantastic. I love the life and death stakes of the game. I love, like, the interactions people will have, like, and the how a lot of people just kind of accept the situation they're in after a while. But stupidest thing ever, like, because they end it after 16 episodes and then they go into something else. And it's like, bro, you've got 100 floors worth of content you could use and you're going to stop it at the 64th floor or whatever they got to. Like, what was the point? Bro, dishonorable mention. Absolutely dishonorable mention. Hurts me every time.
Hurts me that you made it dishonorable.
All right. What I will say about SAO is that I get what you're saying, but I think it's overhated. The first part is overrated, but the rest of it is overhated because even though, like, the core concept, I don't know why they changed it so early. From what I hear, like, the original source material, I think, goes on a fair bit longer. But the rest of the show, like, I don't know about the latest season, like, Alicization or something? I don't know.
Alicization.
Yeah, that. I haven't seen it, and personally, I don't want to. But
never heard of it.
Season 1, which encompasses, like, the part that Sam likes and a second part, and both parts that take up Season 2, I think those are, like, they're not great, but they're good. But yeah, I do get why you would lose interest after, like, the first half of the first season finishes.
Yeah, because, like, I actually think it would definitely be in my top 5 if they even just one season and all of it be SAO. Like,
do you think as it is now it would be in your top 10?
No.
How high would you rank it?
Dust Swift boot. Like 11 maybe. I'd sit it outside purely because of the fact that, you know, it should be better than it is, and its first 16 episodes are incredible.
I'm discovering that we have completely different tastes.
That's the beauty of these lists. We get to judge each other on our taste.
And then we never had a podcast again.
Yeah, no friendships after this.
We were strong for maybe 2 episodes. 1.5. But,
all right.
But I guess I should move into my list then.
Okay, let's do it.
Quick off with the mute. So,
all right, and we're not remember, we're not ranking this yet. You're just providing them in any random order, and we have to guess.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there has been a very late change. I did kick One Piece out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Can you give me reasons why?
I felt something else deserved a place. It was going to be number 5. It was going to be number 5. I'll say that. It was going to be number 5. I may have rearranged the list a little bit. But because I remembered something, I was like, oh shit, that has to be it. But
all right,
it's a lot of nostalgia, and I haven't finished it yet. Up to this point, I think it's good, but it has some major issues.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's that perfect. I think it has some really good stuff, and I think I think even some of the filler is pretty cool.
I mean, like, you have watched the G8. Is it the G8 or the G6 arc? Like
I've watched just past them escaping the fortress of the Marine Fortress.
That's the one. They just randomly, like, drop into a marine fortress and have to try and find a way to escape while grabbing all the gold that the Navy confiscated.
Exactly.
It's an awesome arc, even though it is filler. It is amazing.
Yeah, and it's really good. But Yeah, in terms of my top 5, I think they're a lot better.
Fair enough. I think like
hold on. I think a lot of people are ruled by nostalgia with it, which I am a bit too. And I think it obviously will get better, and I haven't got up to that yet. But I think a lot of people are filled with that nostalgia from the early 2000s rather than,
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Once again, going back to the conversation of like whether we put it as a cartoon or an anime.
Oh, it's 100% an anime.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on One Piece being an anime.
Yeah.
But because we were introduced to it super early.
Through 4 kids.
Yeah. It kind of became a cartoon for us.
That's true. But less said about the 4 kids version of One Piece, the better. Like, I don't know what the hell they were doing with that. It's not a kids show. It never was, and it will never be a kids show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you'll grow to appreciate One Piece better when you get to like some of the big arcs, like Enies Lobby, Water 7, Impel Down, Marineford, and my personal favorite, Dressrosa. But it will take a little bit for you to get there, since like you've only just finished like that Marine base arc.
Yeah. Anything involving the hashtag spoilers.
Don't worry, I'm not including spoilers. Like the name of those are like the big arcs that basically every One Piece, like anyone who starts out One Piece will have heard of in one way or another.
It's more the death of a very particular character.
Yeah, I'm not saying shit.
Yeah. See, I know that, and it makes me annoyed that I know that, but I'm not going into details.
Oh, that's
like
nice.
we won't go into details, but there is a reason why they are so talked about, is because they're so impactful, especially in the anime.
Case.
Anyway, shall we get on to your top 5?
Yeah.
Yes. Now I've got to realize that, like, although I've got them written in order, I can't read them in order. Unfortunately, I think Tom knows 1 and 2 anyway. But let's start with Hellsing Ultimate. And look, we've talked about it already. It's so good. And it's an anime that, it took 10 years? Is that right?
See, the thing with Hellsing Ultimate is that it's not technically an anime. It's what's defined as an OVA, meaning that it's essentially like, it's not released like a TV show. They're like 1-hour TV specials, and they were each released like 1 episode a year, and every single episode the quality gets better and better and better.
Yeah, and it's not like it takes 2 or 3 episodes for you to get really into the nitty-gritty of the story. It takes 1 episode, and then you're there, and it's like this roller coaster ride of like constant twists and turns. An incredible protagonist, like we talked about that speech. As weird and wacky as it is in large sections, is just like that's memorable.
Like this stout, like very creepy looking major just pops up and just goes, "Gentlemen, I don't know if you guys know, but I love war."
Yeah,
and my god, it's creepy, but it's awe-inspiring at the same time.
Exactly. It's just yeah. Like I don't have much to say, but I think it's a very well put together story. I think the way they attempt, as I said before, the way they attempt to kill him is incredible. And yeah, I'm very disappointed with the ending, but I like that they didn't continue it, and that's the ending that we got, and that's quite endearing. I like that. I don't mind that.
I think you also get a kick out of sorry to cut it off, but I think you'll get a kick out of I think it's Team 4-Star who did it. Team 4-Star did a Hellsing Ultimate abridged, and my god, it's so hilarious.
Yeah, I don't want to watch that. I feel like it'll ruin it for me.
Yeah, it depends on perspective, whether or not you just want to laugh at like the jokes that they bring up. But
this ain't the Attack on Titan abridged series, buddy.
I haven't even That's my first time hearing of that, actually.
What do you mean? Oh, man. Okay.
Like, SAO Abridged, please tell me you've at least heard that by something
Yes.
witty
Who
entertainment.
hasn't?
God, that is hilarious.
But
That's
yeah, with the bridge anyway, I take it as they are jokes. I don't look into it like to try and destroy the anime. So
No, it's clearly respectful. Like, they don't disrespect, like, any of the characters in the show. They just take their situation and just, like, shape it into something that, like, it follows, like, a similar, like, the story frames of the original show, but it's its own unique story more than anything else.
Yes.
okay, so we have Hellsing Ultimate.
So sorry to like cut through there. I'll try to like keep it to a minimum.
No, it's good. It's discussion. So.
What should we go with next? I think we'll go with the add-on to the list, the late add-on. I think Dr. Stone.
See, I had a feeling you were going to bring this up.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if anyone who knows when I watch anime, because I haven't watched that fucking much.
Riches, only your small group here.
Yeah. I love things that play on reality. So that use real concepts to change our perception of what's going on. So, yeah, I love Dr. Stone because it's essentially just like, what if we change one element and then force them into the future and then force them to try and rebuild from there? And it's freaking awesome. And Senku's great.
Senku is amazing, but at the same time, it's just so weird.
Exactly.
Basically, for those of you who are watching, Dr. Stone is essentially a shonen anime where suddenly, out of nowhere, in modern times, something happens, a beam of light shines down that turns everyone to stone, and it fast forwards to like thousands of years later when Senku finally wakes up, and then he starts like trying to reestablish science in this new stone world. And it's awesome, but also it's very educational. Like, the author kind of goes out of his way to like explain like, oh, this is how you make a battery in your backyard.
Yeah, but he also doesn't, go, oh, here's how to make a battery, and then we'll make exactly the same battery that you'd be used to. No, it's like he doesn't obviously have the materials for that, so he has to create a battery that is essentially a freaking would power, a city block or whatever, because it's that big and it's forced to be for that purpose, because you can't make the tiny little batteries that you're used to putting into your Xbox controller. Like, it's got a big coil going on. I know it wouldn't really, but like in today, that something that big as a battery would power quite a significant.
I mean, season 2's now out on Crunchyroll. Do you want me to tell you what's the first thing they decide to make?
I would like you to not, because I haven't seen season 2 yet, and I didn't know it was out yet.
Fair enough. Well,
fuck you.
It is, and it's honestly like great. It's just awesome.
Fuck you for not telling me.
Obviously, Dr. Stone is in his top 5, so he would not want to know anything about it.
Exactly.
If he's
it's like
Okay.
Demon Slayer. Don't fucking touch. Don't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing about the movie. Don't you worry.
Well, speaking of it, I should just Demon Slayer.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, the Demon Slayer is. So what? Demon Slayer is in your top 5?
Demon Slayer is in my top 5. And
Alright,
my
you wanna explain
reasoning
why?
for it. My reasoning for it is because I think the story throughout season 1 has been really good and quite consistent, and plays on a lot of strange concepts. Like, I try not to spoil it because I know it's relatively new as a series. And because finished up last year.
I still want to watch that too. So
Yeah, fair enough. But like, it's really risen in popularity, and for good reason. I won't lie.
Yeah. And I'll just say his training and the end of his training specifically, and I think Tom will understand what I'm talking about. Like the end of his first step of his training.
The thing with like all. I think. Oh yeah. I think I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, that's a cool scene.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's really incredibly good, and the whole mythology behind it, like in the universe, is obviously going to come out as the series start to come out, and the story develops. It's incredibly cool, and I love how they've used Western animation techniques, and I pointed out every fucking time, but deep canvas, because deep canvas is such an expensive and incredibly good technique in animation, and it's used in it, and I couldn't believe it when I first saw it. I was like, there's no way, but yeah, love it.
I'm in love almost immediately.
I'm like, Tarzan? Treasure Planet?
Like, yeah, I agree. Like, if there's one thing that you can sell Demon Slayer on, it's its animation. The animation is beyond perfection, but
yeah, and it's got a very beautiful art style to it as well.
And I mean, the characters, like, some of them can be annoying. Especially one of our main ones, but
yeah, Saitan.
That for the most part they are memorable. Especially Nezuko. Whenever she just shows up, she steals the damn show.
Nezuko.
Look. Let me explain my reasoning for why Demon Slayer is not in my top 10. It's because, like, I get it, the animation is stellar, and it is popular to the point where the author of One Piece actually, like, thanked the author of Demon Slayer for all that Demon Slayer has done throughout last year, like how popular it grew. But I don't know. I watched the first season, and it just felt like that entire season was just set up. I don't think that's the same for like everyone, but it just felt like set up to me. And then I get to the movie, and the movie is great. There were parts where I actually got excited and emotional during it, but I don't know. It just feels like it's just missing something that I like watching in my anime that turns it from good to, well, even that turns it from great to amazing.
Okay, well, I'll take that, and I'll say, okay, take One Piece, for example. You're not hit with a major villain arc right away, but
no.
You are hit with a lower ranked villain arc pretty quickly. And, and considering, like, you know, he's literally just started their training, and they have to take on what is a relatively, for a minor villain, is a very, like, that's pretty horrible to go up against to start off with.
It has been a while since I've seen like the first episodes of Demon Slayer, so
it's not really the first episode. It's that first. Try not to spider it. Oh, yeah, there you go.
It's like
try not
introductory.
Oh, right. Yeah, the spiders. Yeah, okay. That is. Okay. Fair enough. That is creepy.
Creepy on another level. Interesting, and takes the concept of spider and flips it quite significantly. It takes the things you know, but it's not like Aragog and it's a giant spider. Like, you know, it's really interesting how it works. So I like that. Yeah, can appreciate that. I also like how they do the art style on like the water flowing attacks and the lightning strike attack.
I don't know if they've explained how that works. Like if they fully explain how that works, or maybe I might have missed something in one of the early episodes. I don't know.
I don't, because Mitch is going to watch it. So in his training, it explains it quite specifically.
Okay, I think I'll have to rewatch those episodes again to get the full picture.
It's all about the fight style.
I was gonna say I could just like mute or leave for a moment, but then there would be no recording. And if I was to stay anyway, I would have to edit it. So...
Yeah, fair enough. Don't worry, we're not gonna like spoil anything.
Yeah, but it's all in their fight style, the style of attacking and stuff.
Like,
but it's not like you would actually see the water or the lightning Oh, maybe the lightning, but not the water in real life.
I don't. The way I always saw it, I don't think like they're actually summoning the elements. It's just like how they're. It's just the fighting style, like just how it like how each technique works.
It's an exemplification of their technique, essentially. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we've done that.
Yeah.
Death Note.
Death Note's in there.
Yeah.
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 Wait, do you have your Death Note in your top 10?
No, because I haven't seen Death Note.
What do you mean you haven't seen? Oh,
I'm surprised.
I know. I keep getting told by people that I should like see it, but I don't know. I just haven't taken the time to sit down and watch it. I do know that it's good, that it's great. I just haven't taken the time to watch it.
Now, and I will explain later its positioning on the list, which hopefully doesn't give too much away. But it is. I love its psychological analysis element, going back to Psycho-Pass, but the psychological analysis of his actions and his understanding of how different forces in his world react to him doing things is like next level genius intelligence. Like above Shikamaru, obviously. But my only downside, because I love L as a protagonist, as the
antagonist.
So that's the thing. It's more like
a rival.
Well, yeah, because Light is more like the antagonist.
No, the thing is like L is the antagonist, but Light is the things? Light. Like L is the antagonist because he's like up against Light, who we're following, but Light is the villain.
I feel like it's more like Light is the protagonist. Is the antagonist framed as a protagonist, and L is an antagonist framed. Is a protagonist framed as an antagonist. Because
I wish I could have a say in this, but I do not remember any of it. So
okay, because L is actually good and he's trying to do the right thing, whereas Light is not good and he's not trying to do the right thing. He's overusing his power. He understands that he has this immense power and he's using it in what seems like a good way, but is in fact very bad. Yeah, it's very bad.
He compare Lelouch to from Code Geass to Light with Death Note, and it shows like either you let power corrupt you or you understand what your power does and is capable of, and you work around it so you don't lose yourself.
Yeah. Now, there is a thing, and I will explain it now. My problem with the series is when Nia and Mello come into it.
Yeah, but that's like everyone's problem with it, so I understand.
Like, like I get how sorry, I get why it happens, but I also think you could have ended the series with L figuring it out. Like, I understand it might have seemed very one-dimensional for the series, but it would have been. I think in ways it could have been better that way. But I do enjoy the ending. I do think it's an interesting way to end it. But I don't think Nia and Mello are good. They're good antagonists for the end of the series. Like, I just don't think they're good.
Well, let's look at it this way. Do you think they're bad as antagonists overall, or do you just think that they're bad compared to L?
I don't appreciate their characters and the way the way their characterization works. I don't think I understand why they changed to two people after L, so it's like L's proteges. Like, sure, we've got two of them. But the way their characterization is not great. I think it could have been done better. They don't necessarily need two elves, they just need something that's not that. And I'm not a writer, so I don't know how to do that. But like, you know,
I think the way it went down with L, I think it needed to happen in order to like fully establish Light's eventual like fate. But I do get why some people would consider it a bit of like why the series would start to flounder after that.
I have to ask this again. Are you sure you haven't seen it, Tom?
Yes, I haven't seen it, but the thing is, like, everyone talks about it so extensively that I've been spoiled on a lot of details.
Have some type of, yeah.
Like, I don't understand how the story goes throughout its entirety. I know, like, a few of the characters, but, like, the major, climatic story beats. Yeah, I know. I get like the general idea. I don't know specifics, but I get the general idea of what happened.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, I'll definitely get the show a watch like at some point.
It's just a matter of getting around to it. Yeah.
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 So what's your last one?
My last one being Fairy Tail.
Of course.
And that is more out of nostalgia than anything else, I think. And me, it's really the first anime I properly got into.
And I definitely didn't influence it.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Clearly, that was all me.
I mean, how did you end up with Fairy Tail? Like, the way I ended up with Fairy Tail is that I used to, like, borrow my friends' hard drives, like, while we were, like, doing study times back in high school, and he would always have like these files full of anime, and on those hard drives I eventually found a folder that contained like the first season of Fairy Tail, and like the first thing you see on that file picture right before you click it is a happy looking blue cat, and I'm like, okay, screw it, I'm bored, let's check this out.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, I mean, you just asked Mitch how he found it, because Mitch put me onto it.
It would probably be along the same type of lines.
Yeah, for a long time I thought, you know, Nuts is my favorite character. Love his ability. Like, love his magic. That's incredible. Yeah, no, I don't really have much to say about that because we've talked about it already. But
yeah, it's been touched on.
Yeah. That's about it.
So your top 5: Hellsing Ultimate, Dr. Stone, Demon Slayer, Death Note, and Fairy Tail.
Yep.
Ooh.
This is hard.
Yeah, this one's actually very tricky. Okay.
And I will give an explanation for my rankings.
I know I bungled it, but do you think you could give us one? Like, it doesn't have to be like the top ones, but like, which one's like your fourth or your fifth, maybe? I don't know.
Asking for a free one. Before you actually do that, I would be taking my guess.
Yeah, I think it's really easy to guess. Tom, you shouldn't have this much trouble because you already know the top two. And then I don't think it's hard to figure out based on the fact that I had to switch one out. So, yeah. But don't let that throw you off because it's not necessarily in the position you think it is.
So, to me, my guesses anyway. Number 5 is Hellsing.
Okay.
Number 4 is going to be actually Fairy Tail.
Okay.
Number 3 would be Death Note, then Demon Slayer and Dr. Stone.
Okay. Tom.
Okay. I think number 5 is Fairy Tail.
Okay.
Number 4 is Dr. Stone.
Okay.
Really?
3 is Demon Slayer.
Have I got this so wrong?
Then 2 is Hellsing Ultimate, and then Death Note.
Okay. So, Mitch, you are just wildly incorrect. You
fuck me!
Demon Slayer was in the right spot. Tom, you had to switch Demon Slayer and Hellsing.
Oh,
So-
what? Really? Demon
so-
Slayer is your number 2?
Yeah. So going from the bottom, Fairy Tail,
Oh, shit.
purely based on nostalgia. If I'd left One Piece in, it would have been One Piece then Fairy Tail.
Fair enough.
But I do like Doctor Stone more than Fairy Tail, so Doctor Stone hits that number 4 position. Hellsing
Jeez.
because
You were going on so much about Dr. Stone when you were watching it.
He did that to deceive us.
This was planned
And I
many
mean, to
years
be
ago.
fair, like, and I mean, to be fair, it is like a very interesting like concept.
Yes, it's incredibly interesting. But the reason it's not any higher is I've only seen one season. That I know now that there's a second season.
Don't worry, it's not complete. I think there's only like 9 episodes so far.
Oh, there's still 9 more episodes there. Okay.
Oh, come on, you can binge them in a couple of hours.
Yeah. Anyway, and then Hellsing Ultimate, it's incredible, but it's just not in my top 2. I don't really have a reason for it not to be.
Number 3 for Hellsing.
Yeah, so number 3 for Hellsing. Demon Slayer. And it'll make more sense when I explain Death Note. But, yeah, so that's number 2.
All right.
Death Note being number 1. And the
All right.
reason for that is I need to see more Demon Slayer. So, like, need to see where that ends up and where that finishes before I move that to the top. But Death Note is the best anime currently, I think. And it's only ruined by... And it's not even ruined in that sense. It's just the quality goes down a little bit for Nier and Mellow.
Okay.
Man, I've
It's
really
fucking
screwed that up.
Oh, it's shockingly bad. I'm listening to you, I'm like, Jesus fuck, dude, what the...
I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually like so freaking happy right now because like the only reason Sam has watched Hellsing Ultimate is because I went to JB Hi-Fi after looking for it for years and finding like a DVD copy of the entire show and bought it, and I was like, Sam, Kate, you and the 3 of us are gonna sit here for nights, for 1 hour over a few nights, and we are going to watch this show together. You are going to see what my high school days were made of.
Well, yeah.
Jeez.
Well, considering this has been running for about 2 hours, we better get on to Mitch's
Mine,
stuff.
yeah. So
Extra long podcast.
yeah.
Yay!
I honestly didn't expect it to be this long.
No, it's because
There you
Tom
go.
can waffle.
Sorry.
No, it's okay because like the podcast is conversations about topics, and you're doing well.
Fair enough.
Burp, Thomas?
Yeah, pardon me.
Well,
So-
that's not really real.
So, even though we've had this discussion before, it's still worth a very honourable mention.
Let's go.
Even though it's not classified as anime, it's Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, okay, like
I know
they're not anime, but I will like say they are definitely like among the best
Either
shows
way,
out there.
with it not being classified as anime, it took out my number 6 spot of
Okay.
shows anyway.
Yeah, sure. That's right.
Number 10 was Naruto.
Okay.
Number 8 is Fate Zero.
Wait, what, Jeff?
Ooh.
What was that?
9. What about 9?
So 10 was Naruto, 9 was Fate Zero.
Oh, okay, you said 8. Don't worry.
I heard
Yeah,
about Fate Zero.
because I have it written down as 8 because I took out Avatar.
Okay.
Explain what you like. Explain what you like about Fate Zero, because I've watched the first season of Fate Stay Night. What was it? Like I watched the full like original Fate Stay Night. Not that great. And I've watched the first season of Unlimited Blade Works, but I haven't got Zero yet.
The thing with Zero is essentially it's an all-out war, even though it's only like, I think from memory, it's like 10 people that are in this war to get the Holy Grail, like literally the Holy Grail. It appealed to me just because of links between characters, and to religion and history of religion, and the action that was involved almost in every episode. They had like a fill-in episode here and there, but a lot of it was more or less the action.
I appreciate shows where they play on religious stuff as well.
Yeah.
I always think it's done. When it's done well, it's really good.
Yeah. Like, if I can think of one anime that does that kind of symbolism very well, I would go with Black Clover, especially when it comes to, like, this particular minute when the country suddenly falls into an all-out war. And it bears a lot of resemblance to the Crusades.
I will say Fate Zero was one of the first animes that I looked properly into details of the characters for.
Okay.
Which is why I liked the link between it.
Yeah.
But moving on, like my number 7, it's just the best comedy pick of anime in my opinion.
What's your 8?
8 is Fate Zero. As I said, I took out Avatar, which is number 6.
Yeah, so we gotta put Avatar at number 6, and then everything else moves down.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So, quick recap again. 10 was going to be Naruto. 9 was going to be Fate Zero. The one I'm mentioning now would be number 8.
Right. Okay.
It is one of the best comedy animes in my opinion. It is One Punch Man.
Oh God.
Okay.
It's pure comedy,
but it's amazing.
It is.
I know.
The reason why it didn't go further up into the list is because of how, and I know it's the whole base of the story, but it was just how overpowered Saitama was.
but see, that's like, I haven't seen the show. Like, Sam and I have watched the first episode, and I think it's hilarious. I think it's a riot.
Yeah, it is hilarious. I agree with you on that.
But I think the thing you have to keep in mind is that it's meant to be. He's meant to be the most powerful and most durable guy on the planet. But because the concept is not about him overcoming challenges, it's about
just
if you are the strongest, if you are the strongest person in the world, is life really enjoyable after that?
Yeah.
And it deals more with him overcoming his own mental struggles rather than physical ones.
See,
He's
the thing that is with me and anime is, I'll probably have to describe it later because it's gonna completely shift the top 5 into probably your favors. But comedy for One Punch Man, as it was meant to be, is fine. It made it to the top 10 because of that. But with number 5, it doesn't meet my topics of anime. That's probably the way I could describe it at best.
Fair enough.
So that was going to be number 8.
Just quickly. My number 1 moment is his reverse Mr. Miyagi, where he can't catch the fly.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just... It's like he just jumps around everywhere trying to hit this damn... And every time he claps his hand, it causes like an air earthquake.
So yeah, that was going to be my number 8. Number what was supposed to be 7. I'm doing quotation marks like you see me. Number 7 is one on Netflix as well. 7 Deadly Sins.
Yes. All right.
No, I was surprised when Tom didn't put this in his top 10, but yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Explain why you like 7 Deadly Sins.
It's links and comedy and action. If you don't want spoils, that's how I'm gonna do it.
All right. Fair enough.
It's
7
Deadly just it's more of a mature base of an anime. Like adult up. But the parts of each character has some significance to comedy for their thing, and then what they're doing just seems so unreal. But it meets the comedy, action, and links.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, number 6 was going to be Avatar, but yeah, that's out.
Can I give my 2 cents quickly about Seven Deadly Sins?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Basically, why I didn't include Seven Deadly Sins is because the plot and power systems are all over the place.
Yeah, but they kind of take the same lines as One Punch Man. They have it more based on comedy rather than power scaling.
Yeah, like from a character-driven perspective, like the character building is phenomenal. It's easily the highlight of the show. Like Escanor is like, for lack of a better way of saying it, for the freaking Lion Sin of Pride, the man is literally a god.
Yeah.
But yeah, like character, it is amazing, but. Like, I don't mind if the power system is all over the place, but the least you could do is pull off like a good plot for these amazing characters to follow.
Yeah, I see that too. But it met my standards.
Fair enough.
So, with that being said, I move into the top 5 relatively quick.
Oh, here we go.
All right, let's go.
So the first one I'm going to mention is going to be Darling in the Franxx. And I know what some people say about this too, but I don't see it that way.
Okay. I've heard of Darling in the Franxx, but explain what it is.
So essentially what it is like there's no humanity, it's taken over, and it's like heading into extinction. There are zones that protect their areas from any extraterrestrial things that are outside the walls or whatever. It's kind of like Attack on Titan. Mm-hmm. One special person, the character 02, is super powerful, but really avoided. Kind of like Naruto. But then people say it's ecchi. I do agree. But it's also wholesome because it's love stories that also have the deep dark sides to it. And okay. Yeah, the action, there's a lot of it in there, with like the love story and rivalry and whatnot. But the action is really good. Some things could be improved, like the way they set up the machines. But yeah, it's just overall kind of wholesome and actiony.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard of the name like a considerable amount of times, but I've just never sat down to watch it.
See, a lot of people say don't watch it. It's too adultery, I guess.
Yeah.
Just because of some of the references that they make in there. But I didn't want to pay attention, and this is a common thing with me in general. I don't pay attention to critics or ratings or anything like that. I go watch it and get my opinion.
And that's fair enough. That's a good mindset to have.
Yeah. So I looked past the references. I looked into the story. I looked into its actions and what happens in it. And it turned out to be a really good anime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Another one has been mentioned already, and I am furious about it. Sword Art Online. That's in my top 5. That's in my top 5.
Before you carry on, how far have you seen?
I've seen through the entire first season and majority of its second season when it goes into Gun Gale Online.
Well,
have you seen all the way through Gun Gale?
No.
Okay. If I will say one thing about it, I think you should carry on that second season because the final arc is Wow, that is like powerful stuff. But I'm interested. What appeals to you about SAO that Sam hates?
The relativity, because it's video games. But once again, like the characters and their developments through the story really fit, and I like, and even though some people also hate them, I hate Kirito's I love Kirito's development to what he becomes and how he does it. And then it's the inspiration to go further and to defy odds.
Right. Okay, I have a question. What did you think about the Heathcliff reveal?
I didn't look too much into it.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's been out for fucking ages.
The fact that the strongest guy around is revealed to be like, yeah, I'm the big boss of everything. Really?
Yeah,
and like he doesn't even give a reason for why he's done all of this.
It wasn't surprising, because like almost from the first introductory episodes, you could tell that something was off with it, and he just so happened to be the high and mighty. So yeah, once again, it like appeals to like developments, actions, and all that whole story. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of this one, but it is No Game, No Life.
Yes!
No Game, No Life is on my list. And
okay. Yeah, go on. Explain it.
So, like Sword Art Online, the relativity to the games reached out to me. It's about, in general summary for those people, it's a brother and sister go through beating all types of games. Goes from like chess to mini shooters, essentially. But like they're quirky. They're quirky in the anime, and I kind of liked it about them. Mm-hmm. Especially with some of the scenes. One particular in an apartment.
An apartment.
Yeah, the brother and the sister go to the apartment, and the brother is like in love, and the sister's trying to like get involved.
Oh right, yeah. Oh my god, that dynamic it's so weird, but at the same time, it's so hilarious and cute.
Yeah, exactly. It became like a wholesome comedy. The end, I'm not going to say what happens in the end, but the end just made me warm. Like...
Yeah, I agree. Like, oh my god. What did you think of the color palette they used?
It's different.
You
definitely wouldn't want to be like high and watch it.
Oh, definitely not. You probably drive yourself blind.
Yeah. But no, it still suited it though. It had a weird suit to it.
Yeah. All right. I think for a 12-episode anime, it's great. Yeah. But I do think it's a bit overrated. When it came out, it blew up. Like, everyone was talking about it for a while, and like over time, I think it's fizzled out a little bit, but that's not to say that it's not just a fun experience. Like, you just watch it and you can have a freaking blast with it.
Yeah, I see that too. Because I'm trying to rush this, we move on.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all right. Obviously,
we don't need to rush. Don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, well, I know we don't have to rush, but like we've been in this for 2 hours, so. But the obvious pick in all of this is Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail's on the list. We've been through it. You don't need to keep going on about it.
Yeah,
it's there. It exists.
It's been there in everyone's. It's fucking consistent.
Everyone on this podcast loves Fairy Tail, and for good reason.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
The last one, because we ran onto Fairy Tail a lot, is Guilty Crown.
Okay.
So, Guilty Crown kind of has a similar setup to Darling in the Franxx, where there's one powerful person. This one is a well-known singer through the worlds. She's essentially the key to saving the universe. She finds someone she likes. They go and essentially save the world. It was actually one of the first animes that I really felt like emotion to it.
Okay. I gave Guilty Crown a go in high school, I think. I definitely need to rewatch it again, but there was that one part, like, halfway through the season, I don't remember what it was, but it kind of felt like after that point, the entire social feel of the entire setting shifted, and that shift kind of felt a bit jarring to me.
Did you continue through the season? Because it's another short anime. Did you continue through it and watch it?
No. Once that shift happened, I don't know. I kind of lost interest a bit.
Yeah.
I watched that episode, but it kind of fizzled out. Maybe I'll give it another rewatch and see how it goes.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend. Like, you're probably right. It probably does fizzle out, but yeah, it's there.
All right.
So yeah, that's my top 5. Do you guys need a reminder?
I'll let Tom go first, so I get my reminder, and then I can reshuffle.
Yeah, well, anyway, it was Darling in the Franxx, Sword Art Online, No Game No Life, Fairy Tail, and Guilty Crown.
Okay. I get the feeling out of all of us, you're the one we're all gonna get incredibly wrong.
Yeah, I haven't heard of half of these fucking shows.
I only don't know one of these, which is Darling in the Franxx. And then again, I don't know your taste at all.
I must say, the English voice actors of Darling in the Franxx, awesome people.
This does not help our fucking situation.
I know. I'm just stating.
All right. Okay.
I mean, I can go first if you want me to, but it's up to you.
All right. Well, let me go first. Number 5, I'm gonna say is. I'll go No Game No Life. Number 4, I would say is SAO. Then number 3, I'd say is Darling in the Franxx. Then number 2 would be Fairy Tail, and then number 1 is Guilty Crown.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to agree with your top 2 assessment, so I'm going to go Guilty Crown, then Fairy Tail as well. But then I think you do SAO because your reaction was rather violent. Then No Game No Life, and then Darling in the Franxx.
Okay. So, right now, Tom has 3 of them. Sam has 2.
Oh, why are we fucking friends?
Were the top 2 correct for both of us?
Yeah, the top 2 was correct for both of you.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm just fucking bad at this game. If I had moved No Game No Life to the bottom, would it have been right?
No.
Oh, shit. Well, that was my only other thing that I was thinking about.
My guess is
2. Yeah.
Let me see. What camera position? Is it No Game No Life?
As what? Like the
I think I put No Game No Life as
last.
I remember which ones you did in order. you went No Game No Life, Sword Art, Darling, Fairy Tail, Guilty Crown. That was going up from number 5. All you needed to do was switch Sword Art Online and No Game No Life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
SAO is at the bottom of your top 5.
Yeah, it still made my top 5, so it's a good anime. But my list goes Sword Art Online, then No Game No Life, then Darling in the Franxx, Fairy Tail, and Guilty Crown.
Damn. What, you think No Game No Life is a better representation of video games than anime? Like,
yeah, 100%.
The thing about
that's a rough one.
The thing about No Game No Life is that it doesn't, like, it explores so many games.
Yeah, and it's not essentially like video games, it's board games too.
Oh, well, maybe I should watch that one. That one sounds like the only one I've
So to me, with my anime tastes, ones that are story rich, are deep and meaningful with like character development and has action, it's got my like.
And it's got comedy, which I imagine also
but
like.
comedy was the ones that came lower on the top 10.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of explaining No Game No Life to Sam before the podcast started, and it's like, my example was that literally the first thing they do in this world is they get ambushed by 3 muggers, and because of the rules of the world where you're not allowed to do anything like illegal or confrontational unless you beat your victim in a game.
Yeah.
And the guy and this boy,
this one.
Yeah, it's this one.
Boy and his sister, like they beat all 3 of them in a game, and essentially they mug their own muggers.
Yeah. And essentially in the first episodes they meet with like the god of this world. So the god comes by and it's like, you guys seem alright. I'll see you at the last point. Good luck.
It's like this, like one race in, like this entire world is divided into so many different races, and every single race, including humanity, is a single piece on a chessboard.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's good.
I would recommend No Game No Life over Sword Art Online.
And it's only 12 episodes, so it's short, it's quick to get through.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's our list.
Well, we got through that in record slow time.
Yeah. It only took about 2 hours.
Proud of you all.
And yet we had fun all the way through, and isn't that what this is all about?
Could you imagine how much longer this would have gone for if Callum was here?
Oh man, like does he even have 5 anime that he likes?
I mean, I presume he does. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to catch up on when he gets back, but like...
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, we have to record all of our podcasts, and we have to like make a list. Alright, it's Callum's catch-up time.
Yeah.
This is what...
A whole podcast dedicated to Callum catching up.
You get 100 episodes and it's literally just like 100 fucking hours of catch-up. Oh dear. Well, I guess this has been the Misfits. Fuck. I mean, this has been the...
Omega Chats. Oh, is it Omega Chaps?
Omega Talk, I thought.
We have still... This is our this is like our first non-introductory episode, and we've yet to come up with a name and an intro. Yay!
This has been the Omega Chaps Talk podcast. Thank you for putting up that shit today.
Yeah, to those who have an interest in anime too, let us know if anyone watches it as well. Down in the comments, what's your animes that you like?
Put down your own top 5 list, like any anime you suggest, or if you believe that some of our favorite anime should be higher or lower.
We may thoroughly discuss your choices in another podcast.
Exactly. We're going to tell you you're fucking wrong,
but we will gladly listen anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, well, cool.
Thanks for listening.
All right.